Coming up on Fulton Today, county commissioners sit down with city leaders. We'll tell you what they're talking about. And Fulton's first responders work with leaders to address an aging fleet. Fulton Today starts right now. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis. Fulton County Commissioners sit down with mayors from across the county to address the county's future and ideas. It's the second meeting in just a few months. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has our story.
Shania, at this second meeting, 11 of the 14 cities in Fulton County were represented. So it was the perfect opportunity for the new county manager to be introduced to the mayors of Fulton County. The meeting at the Fulton County Courthouse started with a quick introduction from Dick Anderson, the new county manager.
I'm very thankful to have been selected by the commissioners.
And then the floor opened up for the mayors to talk to the county commissioners that were present. Some key topics of interest included transportation, economic development, and education.
I think we're going to continue to discuss education because I feel like that's a cornerstone of all communities. And every community that has great education has great services from there up.
We do represent the same people. And people want the same thing from their government. They want efficient services that mean something to them. So they talk about quality education, transportation issues, economic development issues is a common theme throughout the county, and a lot of great ideas and a spirit of cooperation that is very, very welcome.
9 mayors from Milton to Chattahoochee Hills were in attendance. Each one once again emphasized their appreciation for the mayor's meetings and the collaboration it brings.
You know, somebody mentioned in the meeting today that, my road ends in the road that goes into your town, and that's the reality of everything that happens here. We're all totally interconnected, and you can't have something that has an impact in one town that doesn't have an impact in the others around it.
The commissioners and mayors agreed to keep the talks going and plan to hold these meetings once a quarter. Shania, before the next meeting, the county plans to come up with a detailed list of goals and topics to be discussed. Reporting at the Government Center, I'm Priscilla Ortega for FGTV.
Thank you very much, Priscilla. The 2015 session of the Georgia General Assembly comes to a close. Several pieces of legislation have significant impact on Fulton County, from annexation to taxation. To see just how the bills fared, you can visit this website at legiscan.com/GA. Lawmakers, law enforcement officials, and justice leaders continue their effort to make the justice system more efficient and effective. FGTV's Felicia Church has the latest on the Smart Justice meeting.
In a conference room at the Fulton County Government Center, representatives from the courts, public safety, and the school system gathered with Fulton's chairman to address one issue they all have in common: the high rates of incarceration and recidivism in Fulton County. The leaders make up the Smart Justice Advisory Committee.
We talked about ways that we can be better in terms of public safety, how we can collaborate more, how we can do best practices in terms of reducing recidivism. We looked at the juvenile system, the adult system, and so it was a great conversation, and looking forward to some great results. I think we have a good story to tell in terms of a lot of the efforts that we're making right now in terms of reform within the criminal justice system, and we're going to do a whole lot more.
The committee has been meeting for about 1.5 years to identify and address the causes of the problem. Last October, the chairman and chief judge announced the committee's recommendations. One of the recommendations called for more information, which is why members at this meeting focused on data. Officials say some of the biggest challenges with recidivism are social issues like jobs, housing, and sometimes substance abuse. Representatives talked about the changes they're seeing at the schools and in the courts, particularly as it relates to the makeup of the family structure.
In Atlanta Public Schools, we have schools where the nuclear family simply doesn't exist as we know it, where 92% of our students are not living with a mother and a father together in the home.
It does not matter what we do in juvenile court, we still have to send them back home. We want to make sure that all the homes are balanced, that we empower our parents to seek the necessary resources for their children, be it in the school, be it in the community, that they know what it is that they need to look for, and that they have that power to take pride in the rearing of their children.
Resources for children were one of the group's recommendations, along with pre-arrest diversionary programs and public-private impact bonds. With Fulton allocating some 60% of its budget to the county's justice system, the chairman says they're looking for ways to reduce the financial burden the revolving justice door is having on taxpayers. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Felicia Church.
Thank you, Felicia. Meanwhile, there is a new judge on the bench in juvenile court. Renata D. Turner has been appointed to serve as associate judge at the largest court of its kind in Georgia. She replaces Judge Cassandra Kirk, who was appointed chief judge on Fulton's magistrate court earlier this year. Judge Turner currently serves on the Fulton County Child Advocate Board.
Most look forward to working with the community. I look forward to collaborating with other stakeholders, particularly our schools, to make sure that we're providing the best possible services and programs and environments for our children to thrive. I am keenly aware from my position on the county, the Child Advocates Board, that we can't work in silos, that we must work together and collaborate to make sure that we're providing the best possible services and programs and environments for our children to thrive.
Judge Turner will serve in the largest juvenile court in the state of Georgia and amongst the largest juvenile courts in the Southeast. In 2014 alone, Fulton County Juvenile Court judges handled over 6,500 cases. Fulton's fire chief announces big news for his department. With the help of top county leaders, the Fulton County Fire Department is going to get some new engines. Chief Larry Few is now with us here on Fulton Today. Sir, welcome to the show.
Fulton Today. Thank you for having me, Shania.
Well, sir, I understand the commissioners approved 3 new engines. Tell us, how much are they going to cost and when are they set to arrive?
The Board of Commissioners did approve for us to procure 3 new fire engines. They will be the Spartan ERE Gladiator engines, the same kind that we have now. It's a step in the direction for us to standardize our fleet. The cost of each one of the engines will be $22,000. We look for them to be delivered in about 360 days.
Sounds like a long time. Can you not just purchase engines off of a lot?
Well, you just can't go and buy them off the lot anymore because the manufacturers have gotten away from that. With the economic downturn in our economy, they began to manufacture on a demand basis. In other words, you have to let them know how many you want and have the financial capability to pay for them. So they are produced now on a demand basis.
And sir, let's talk about the breakdown or the category of calls that your department answers.
I would tell you that most of the calls that we run now are emergency medical calls, calls for that type of service. We do respond to fire and mitigate those type of alarms, but if you just look at round numbers, let's just say if we ran 15,000 calls in a year, 80 to 85% of those calls are going to be EMS calls. Roughly somewhere around 2,000 calls would be calls for fire service or fire calls. But most of our calls now revolve around emergency medical response, and we provide a very robust emergency medical services response.
And sir, speaking of those medical calls, if the fire crew is riding in an ambulance or a box truck, what happens if there is a fire?
Well, in those cases where we have multiple engine failure and we don't have a backup unit to go into the station immediately, we will run an ambulance or what could be termed a box unit. It's all by design. When a call comes in, if that's an EMS call, that ambulance will respond to that call, and our citizens and visitors won't see any appreciable change in the service. Now, if we have a fire call that comes in, that ambulance unit where we have our personnel on it will respond also, as well as the other engines that are in the string assignment that are supposed to respond. So you'll have that ambulance unit that fills in with that mix. They will be used on that scene as a resource, maybe a rapid intervention team, or however the incident commander designate. There will not be a lapse in service at all. The citizens should not feel any type of lapse in service.
And finally, sir, we understand that your team is taking part in the Cooperative Extension Walk Away program. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, the Walk Away program is a program where our personnel are being partnered with the county extension services to talk about nutritional ways to eat and cook, as well as have an exercise program tailored to each individual just to get healthy, physically fit. Director Chester of the Department of Cooperative Extension is helping us with this, and we're happy that they have come on board.
All right, Larry Few, Fulton County Fire Chief. Sir, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And still to come, Fulton joins the conversation in addressing the impact of foreclosures in our community. It's part of our district-by-district coverage next. A North Fulton city honors a North Fulton commissioner, and another is named to the Atlanta Beltline Board of Directors. Here's this week's district-by-district coverage. We begin with Chairman Don Eves as he participates in a discussion concerning neighborhood stability as a result of foreclosures. The at-large commissioner was a panelist at the Underwater Atlanta Symposium at the Carter Center. The chairman expressed his concern about how foreclosures negatively impact communities in the county, many of which are in minority neighborhoods.
Fulton County certainly has been impacted, but we are doing our best to counter the situation. We received a neighborhood stabilization grant from the federal government, about $15 million several years ago. We were able to rehabilitate and sell about 125 homes in South Fulton County.
Other local government representatives participated in the forum as a part of the Piece by Piece Regional Foreclosure Initiative. Piece by Piece is made up of leadership teams of home builders, the Home Depot Foundation, the Atlanta Regional Commission, and other community partners. District 1 Commissioner Liz Hausman is formally thanked for her years of service to the North Fulton community. The Johns Creek Mayor and City Council presented the Vice Chair with a privileged resolution during their meeting. The resolution outlined the Commissioner's service as a community activist, a school board member, and an inaugural member of the Johns Creek City Council.
It's my hometown, so I have a special affinity for that community. So I was very honored that they took time out to bring me over and help me celebrate a little bit my contribution to our great city.
Vice Chair Hausman has resided in the Johns Creek community for over 20 years. She was a board member of the Committee for Johns Creek, the group that initiated the formation of the city of Johns Creek. District 4 Commissioner Joan Garner joins the Atlanta Beltline Board of Directors. Appointed by her fellow Fulton board members, the commissioner will serve a 2-year term. The Central Fulton representative was welcomed to the board by the Atlanta Beltline president during the taping of her last show.
I am very excited about serving on the Beltline board for a number of reasons. First, I think about the overall health and well-being of our citizens, and this is a great opportunity for that. There's economic development opportunities, there's housing, but more importantly, this is a public-private partnership, and that is really what we want to encourage in our Fulton County.
The Atlanta Beltline project is providing a network of public parks, multi-use trails, and transit by reusing 22 miles of historic railroad corridors, circling downtown and connecting 45 neighborhoods. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. gets a cooking lesson at the Oak Hill Child and Adolescent Center. The commissioner joined other families who are also learning to prepare healthy meals. The lessons are a part of a county partnership with the Choices organization. CHOICES stands for Center Helping Obesity in Children End Successfully.
This is a great program. We need to implement this all throughout the county. Number one, it brings families together for family time. Number two, teaches kids about making healthy decisions and healthy choices about the foods that they eat. We learned today about go, slow, and whoa. So there are go foods that you can eat all the time, slow foods that you need to eat every once in a while, and whoa foods that you need to try to stay away from.
The meals are also affordable and cost about $10 to make for a family of 4.
And finally, in District 6, spaces are filling up fast for the Arts and Culture Teen Summer Camp. While registration quickly reached capacity at the popular Southwest Arts Center, there is still availability for the Aviation Community Cultural Center and the South Fulton Arts Center summer programs.
These programs are perfect for young people because it gives them an opportunity to experience visual arts, dance, music, and theater all in 1 week. So if your children don't get enough of those activities, they'll have an opportunity to experience that at a variety of Art Center sites, mainly South Fulton, as well as the Aviation Community Cultural Center.
Teen Camp at the Aviation Community Cultural Center will run from June 1st through June 26th and will offer programming in a variety of visual art, dance, music, and aviation classes. The annual Flight of the Imagination Camp for 5 to 12-year-olds will be from July 6th through July 31st. The Youth Summer Camp at the South Fulton Arts Center runs from June 1st through June 26th. The 4 one-week camps culminate with a stage performance and art display each Friday at 4 p.m. The event is free and open to the public. Again, online registration is encouraged at fultonarts.org.
And when we come back, helping seniors with diabetes. Stay with us. Fulton County wellness trainers are getting their workforce ready for the 2015 Spring into Wellness event. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn explains how.
Forming healthy habits leads to weight loss and better health outcomes. That's the idea behind the Employee Wellness Committee's Walk Run program.
So some of them come where they cannot even walk a mile or so. So my goal is to prepare them from walking a mile to walking 2 miles, 3 miles, and eventually get them into running a 5K.
The 8-week walk-run program prepares participants for the county's annual Spring into Wellness event in May. Fulton County knows that a healthy workforce is a productive workforce, so the free walk-run program and other classes teach employees how to change their habits and not just to crash diet.
Some people go on a diet and say, okay, I'm going to diet for 6 weeks, and they're going to stop eating bread or meat for 6 weeks, and after 6 weeks, they go back. So it don't serve any purpose.
One of the things that I was taught in one of the classes is that you don't need to eat a heavy meal at night because you're going to bed. Why should you eat a heavy meal at night when you're going to bed? Your body does not need any energy to sleep. Your largest meal should be in the morning and at lunch.
The employees who take part say they enjoy the programs because they can see and feel the difference.
I am a success story because I have lost more than 32 pounds, and I'm constantly losing weight, and I sleep better at night, and I feel better.
Fulton County workers taking part in employee wellness programs means less money spent on health care costs, and that equals more money spent on county services and programs for residents. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
Thank you very much, Lynn. In other health news, seniors take part in a Diabetes Alert Day by learning all about prevention. The American Diabetes Association set up at the Helene S. Mills Senior Multipurpose Facility to offer diabetes screenings. The association also gave information on how to prevent the disease.
Seniors are at a higher risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Just as we age, we're more at risk for many chronic diseases, and diabetes is one of them.
Diabetes is very common. It's actually an epidemic, and there's almost 1 million Georgians with diabetes, and there's almost 700,000 Georgians with diabetes who don't know it.
According to the American Diabetes Association, symptoms include urinating often, feeling very thirsty, feeling very hungry even though you are eating, extreme fatigue, blurry vision, cuts, or bruises that are slow to heal. Now, if left untreated, diabetes can cause blindness, kidney disease, and heart conditions. For more information on diabetes, you can go to the Diabetes Community Action Coalition at dcacfulton.org. Well, time is running out for parents to enroll their children in this year's 4-H summer camp. Fulton County Cooperative Extension is accepting applications for the camp right now. There are a number of different 4-H camps that are filling up quickly, but there is still some room in the Clover Leaf camp. That camp is for 5th and 6th graders.
They help with social development. They help with kids maturing a little because they're away from home for a whole week without mom and dad. So they're able to make responsible choices on their own with, of course, some guidance. And they're able to meet and make new friends from all over the state.
4-H agents say the summer camp is something that allows students to create memories, make friends, and be active. You can sign up at Camp Fulton Truett in College Park until the end of the week. And when we come back, children discover the world of genetics and DNA. Stay with us. If your child needs some homework help as the school year nears an end, well, the Parks and Recreations Department can help. The after-school program is available at 4 sites in the county.
We cover homework, academics, as well as recreational activities, and even some arts and crafts. It keeps kids engaged while also keeping them academically on track with homework assistance, and provides a safe environment for parents to have their kids in after school until later in the day when parents come to pick them up.
Children 5 to 12 years old can attend for a weekly fee. The program is Monday to Friday from 2:30 to 6 p.m. when school is in session. There is limited pickup available at some elementary schools. For information, you can contact one of the 4 parks on your screen. And finally, we know that DNA is a complicated concept to comprehend. Well, a special presentation broke it all down for some youngsters. The DNA is Elementary event introduced the children to genetic traits and diversity. The group at the Central Library was able to learn the fundamental concepts of DNA and genes.
They were learning about traits, they were learning about the shape of DNA, what type of things have DNA, and what science is in general.
The hands-on learning activities explained how genes are passed down from parents to their children and how DNA makes each one of us unique. Now, to see a list of the educational activities for young ones at the library, you can go to the library's website at afpls.org. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. And of course, you can watch us anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis. Thank you for joining us. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.